Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well today. I welcome you all to my next podcast where we are talking to Dr. Bireshwar Kumar. He started his sea career in MOL and grew up to become a second officer. He worked on oil tankers during his stint in Merchant Navy. In 2007, he joined SP Jain School of Global Management where he completed his MBA in flying colors. He was a gold medalist there. Post MBA, he worked on very well renowned companies like Accenture, DNV, etc., where he was always dealing with shipping companies. He was also an entrepreneur where he started an education startup in Bihar before going back to Singapore. In his present organization, where he is the business development director, the company looks after the seafarers and ships where they can make passage planning better, and also for the ship managers to get ships details on the go in real time. He has recently completed his business administration from Australia. He is also a cyber security expert and has been giving a lot of presentations in many forums on the subject. Today, we will be talking about him for his career progression and how did he manage his various transitions in his life. He provides insight on his thought process of taking the next steps and what were the drivers in his life. He gives his key considerations on one should have before shifting ashore. He mentions the importance of retrospect in his life and what its effect on his decisions. So without taking much time, let's go into the very insightful video for all of us. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey. If you like this video, please do share it with your colleagues and friends who will also be benefited equally. Thank you so much again. Good afternoon, Dr. Bireshwar. Here it's good morning. You are in Singapore, so it's good afternoon should be for you.
Good afternoon.
Our viewers, we have Dr. Bireshwar Kumar with us. He is presently a director of business development in one of the maritime tech companies, we can tell, involving in the charts. So we will have a good discussion with him. He is a seafarer. We cannot call him ex-seafarer because a seafarer is always a seafarer, so he is a seafarer now, and we will surely get some good insights in this short conversation we are going to have. Thank you so much, Dr. Bireshwar. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here and discuss and share my experiences and knowledges.
Thank you so much. So, diving right into the podcast, how was your starting in the Merchant Navy? Was it like you were always wanting to be in the Merchant Navy, or it just happened by accident or mistake you came into the Merchant Navy?
Yeah, you can say more it's accidental. So like I'm from Patna. So you know that in most of the people in Bihar, UP as soon as they are about to go into their class 11th, we either have a physics, chemistry, maths or physics, chemistry, biology. Depends that whether I am trying to go for an engineering or for a medical. So I opted for engineering, and engineering means I prepared for the IIT JEE 97, didn't crack through. Then went 1 year, took a 1 year break, went to Delhi with few of my friends, and then we prepared for the IIT JEE. In 1998, I managed to get into the last few ranks, and I managed to get few other engineering colleges exam like Bihar Combined and all those examinations I managed to crack through. But this was the era, that 1998, is when people have started talking about the .com and what happened after 2000, and the job scenario in engineering side was not that great because a lot of our seniors or our friends or our relatives have been gone through this journey. So they are engineers from various colleges. So somehow the job scene was not that, at least it's not reflected to us that it's good and great and you will get something. On the contrary, this T.S. Rajendra or T.S. Chanakya at that time, it also takes admission through the IIT examination, and they have a fabulous, you can say, the campus placement and jobs, and starting salary at that time was very good because even if you go as a cadet, it was very handsome $25,000 starting in US dollar. So I thought that okay, this is the one which is
25,000 US dollars?
Indian rupees in US dollar.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that let's see. So then when I got a call from T.S. Chanakya also, I went for their counseling. And again, I was more inclined toward the engineering side, so DMET. But I think Captain Subra was there, and he was the one who is checking something, and he said, "Do you have a spec?" I said, "No." "Then why you are going to DMET? Go to Chanakya." So he canceled my preference and put it by his pen, Chanakya.
Yeah. Okay.
So that he used to do. I mean, he used to sit in a counseling, and if you do not have a spec, he will try to send you to Chanakya.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up in Merchant Navy. And then the journey started. So then the next 3 years in Chanakya, in hostel, learning about the new thing. Nobody from my field has ever been to the maritime or a maritime or a shipping. So that was a unique experience for me, starting from zero and building up my knowledge base.
So no relatives, no friends, nothing to tell you about Merchant Navy, anything?
No, so all my friends in the Merchant Navy which I have developed is through those 3 years.
Okay.
I mean, beginning friends, my college mates.
Correct. So you finished your college, and how was first ship? How did you get? Which company you joined?
So yeah, after college, when we were in the third year, there were campus placement organized. So I got selected in Ferguson, MOL, at that time OMI. MOL being MOL, we all know that they are one of the top companies at that time, Japanese company. So I opted for a MOL, and then MOL sent me for another 2 weeks of training in TS Rahman. And then I joined. So we were the first lot in MOL who will be joining VLCC as a cadet. So me and one of my classmate, Rupesh, we both joined VLCC in MOL. The vessel was, my VLCC is only 5-year-old, and it's a Japanese built ship. So almost everything was working. There is no issue with that. And yes, so VLCC, we were in Middle East and Japan. It's very smooth because once you sail out
long
in Japan,
voyages.
Correct. Japan have 2-3 ports, and once you sail out of Japan, it's a 16-17 days voyage. Just between the Singapore Strait, my captain is a Japanese captain, Captain Kambata. He always used to call me while passing Singapore Strait to the bridge, and he will give me the steering. That okay, you steer. So Singapore passing, at least I spend in a stretch, I used to spend 9 to 10 hours in a bridge, and maybe 3-4 hours while the vessel is on a hand steering. So I'm also steering. And that was my first experience, that especially when the VLCC was loaded, we were coming from Japan to Gulf to Japan. I have given her the help, and for next 2 minutes she didn't even move. I was wondering what is happening. And when she started moving, she's not stopping. And captain knew that this is the first time I am handling, so he is not giving me any course. He was just telling me starboard 5, starboard 10, and port 5, port 10, like this kind of helps command he's giving. But yes, it was it's a new ship. So, and again, I am not that kind of person who prefer, like a lot of people told me that since you didn't work on an old ship, you didn't learn a lot. I say that's nothing like that. I enjoyed my life. I had a good time spent. I have spent, because as soon as you become third officer, your first task is to take a command on a bridge. So I say that part I have definitely learned. Yes, if you ask me how to open an entire cow machine and then repair it, I didn't learn. But that will come to me after 7-8 years. I have sufficient time to learn. So rather than focus on a short-term goal compared to a long-term. So I was very happy with my tenure. Even in my tenure, my next captain asked me that, would you interested in going to engine room for 3 months? Because I spent 12 months on that bridge, that ship. We have a 12 month of cadetship we have to do.
Okay. So you're not dual certification. You just wanted to. He just wanted to send you.
So he just wanted to give me exposure of the engine room. Okay. So then 3 months I have spent in the engine room as well.
Oh. Okay.
So by the end of 2nd month, I was taking the UMS. So all these experience actually later on it helped me when we were going for some pre-purchase inspections. I thought about the engine room than many of the people who is going with me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it satisfied your engineering quest also. Huh?
Correct. Yes.
You wanted to be on the engineering side.
Yes.
So that time, what did you feel after joining the ship, and you did that 3 months? Did you feel engineering was better, or
then I feel the deck was better. Engineering is always a tough time. Because we were in a Gulf Japan RAM, so whenever we used to Gulf, The engine room temperature is more than 50 degree plus. So we are having a salt tablet and then go for 10-15 minutes, take a break after 15 minutes, come back to the engine control room, because Gulf was in itself is 50 degree and engine room must be around 60 plus. So that time I feel, the bridge is much better.
So you should thank Captain Subra for. So you did the 12 months on that ship. So total how much sea time?
12 months, 10 days. Because that we were supposed to do 12 months. So on a safer side, we done a 12 month, 10 days, and also it matches the vessel, because I sailed out from Japan, then I signed off in Dubai. We were at the anchorage for 3 days, and then I signed off from Dubai. I joined in Korea and signed off in Dubai.
So basically, you did your cadetship, and then you got your second mates, and then you sailed as second mate also. How many contracts?
So immediately after my cadetship, joined MOL back again as a third officer. I sailed for 2 contracts as third officer in MOL, and then MOL promotions are very slow because generally hardly any people leaves there. And then OMI actually called me and they were ready to send me as a onboard promotion to second officer. So then I joined OMI. In 3 months on board, they promoted me to second officer, and I continued with 2 more. So total sea time after my cadetship is 22 months. Total sea time is 22 months.
Okay.
Span of 3.5. So you can say my total sea going experience means not on a sea time, but on a year wise, it's roughly slightly more than 5. 2001 October I started, and 2006 November I.
How coming to the switching ashore? What made you?
So while I was working as a third mate and second mate, and most of my vessels are on a long run, so I generally get 10 days voyages, and especially in the middle of a sea when you have nothing to do. You hardly get to see one ship in your entire watch. You think about a lot of things. So that's what started happening with me. I was thinking, and then I realized that can I continue with this kind of role forever? I say no. I need to go into the more in depth where these decisions are being taken, that where the ship has to move or what the ship will purchase. So I started getting into more on a commercial aspect, that how the commercially these decisions are being taken. And then I realized that to get into that direction, I need to get some additional academic degree. So few of us, 2 or 3 of our friends started talking about, and then we narrowed down that MBA seems more suitable, and perhaps MBA in supply chain and logistics will help us even taking these 5 years as a experienced candidate. So instead of starting zero, because if I choose anything like finance or anything, it's like I have to start from scratch. But if I go for the supply chain logistics, then I can say, I had a 5 year of experience. So it's more like a lateral placement after my MBA. And that's how we have started. So then just before my last ship, one ship before my last ship, when I came for my vacations, I started looking around that what are types of exam, what type of colleges, what are the degrees and everything. And then I figured out that I have to appear for the GMAT. And CAT, I was not preferred because I'm looking for 1 year courses.
Okay.
And since you have already started earning, I was thinking that maybe the 1 year MBA is suitable for me, because then within 1 year, I will finish my course and again start in an earning phase. So I look for a few of the American colleges, European colleges, then all of those. And then there is one college called SP Jain, which just started opening up. It's only 2-year-old. So I got a call from 3-4 colleges actually. The Asian Institute of Management, Manila. There is a IE in Spain. All these colleges are there. US was too expensive. And most of them have a 2-year course.
So you had any bank balance till that time, or?
Yes. So my MBA I financed by myself.
Yourself, okay.
When I joined, finally when I get into the SP Jain, I financed my So and SP Jain actually gave me the option of supply chain and logistics, and it was a good course because they were putting 6 months in Dubai and 6 months in Singapore. So Dubai is more like an emerging market and Singapore is a developed market. And for supply chain perspective also, or logistics perspective also, Dubai and Singapore is the 2 global hubs. So that's why I opted for this MBA. So this is
And,
how we have already decided we have to get into the commercial side, or to be more decision making things than rather than just being an operational people.
So basically, you wanted to be in Merchant Navy, but on the different side of the table. You wanted to see how it actually operates, rather than being. So you never felt now at this present moment, did you feel it would have been better if you had continued till master and then got off, or you feel in the career wise, what is, because there are so many people watching now who are looking at, maybe junior officers are there and masters also there. So we want to ask whether what is the correct decision. You should leave in between is also okay, or it is better you go through your career and then complete master or chief engineer, whichever stream you are in. And
now it depends also a lot on the people. So I have met people who have left Merchant Navy after getting a command or becoming a chief engineer, and they are also doing exceptionally good. I have also met people who left very early. I even know the people who left just after cadetship. And currently he owns his own logistics company in Mumbai with a turnover of around 5.5 crore per year.
Oh, okay.
And he left just after cadetship. He's from the engineering side. So he has done 7 months of TME and then he left. So it's more depends on your interest, your inclination. I will say that I do not regret it. Yeah, I was more interested right from the beginning to get into the that side. And second thing is that if you how much safety cushion you want. In my case, I didn't go with any safety. Whatever balance or whatever the bank balance I had, most of that has been used in my financing my MBA.
Correct.
And you can say that also gives me a extra urge that I have to do good because I have nothing to back up. But sometimes that backup also gives you more freedom to think very openly and do something which you like. So it's up to you. What personality you are depends on that. You take that decision. If you know that with a pressure you can survive, then go at after second mate or after third engineer. And if you know that no, you want some open thinking, free thinking, you want your freedom, then perhaps you go after master.
So basically it is more of financing rather than the rank per se. How much backup you have so that you can be more confident in taking the decision what you want to do.
Yes. That's my say will be. And generally, if you take one thing which I have seen that sometimes people after taking a command, when they move to the shore job, it's like starting from cadetship again.
Correct.
So some people face difficulties in adapting to that because once they are in a command for 3, 4, 5 ships, they know that once they are on board, everything is as per their command. As soon as they shift to shore jobs, it's completely changes because they are treated being a newcomers.
Exactly.
That is also one area which needs to be dealt with very carefully.
And the finance shock is also bigger.
Definitely. Especially for master and chief engineer, it's a biggest financial shock.
Plus the tax, yeah. Correct. Very true.
Yeah.
So maybe we can take it that way, that if you are okay to do a job and start your career, then you can leave early. Or you want to start something on your own because you will need a lot of finance backing for that. Then it is better you can still stick on to some more time, senior officer or something, and then come ashore and start something on your own.
And at that time also, many of the people have done that they have been sailing and they have started something on shore and put it to somebody else to take care of that stuff, and they just come in a vacation time and put some money, put some effort. That will not. Most of the people I have seen, it doesn't work because since you are on ship for 3-4 months and you have given your most important asset to somebody else to run, it's not his asset. So he will just run it like as an employee, while you could have run it like an owner. So there is a marked difference between running as an owner or running as an employee.
Yeah. So basically, if you have decided to come ashore, you have to completely. You should not renew your COC, and then you have to settle down completely.
Yeah. So I didn't renew my COC.
You didn't renew it. Now switching over to the next gear where you start your shore career. So after SP Jain, how did you get your first job? Was it difficult, or you applied? How was the journey?
Okay, so when we started learning MBA, so the first shock which I get is that the introduction. So it's a first session, and the entire batch was there, and we were going through the orientation, and everybody was told to give 2 or 3 minutes of introduction. So when all my colleagues or batchmates started introducing, I felt as if because of them, those companies were running and we have done nothing except selling. So me and one of my Chanakya senior, we both are in the same batch in SP Jain. So when our turns come, we just say, no, we just managed to handle a ship with people, with a cargo, and travel all around the world. That's it. But those people who were working on a shore companies, they are very smart in conveying their message. We were not. Even if the way they portray themselves or portray their work, too good for us. At that started our journey in SP Jain, and my Adil was his name.
I should say, the seafarers, we are very straightforward, and we don't diplomacy. All those things are very difficult for us.
Correct. So that was the shock I got.
Because we actually, if you want to tell, you can tell. You were actually on the helm of a VLCC, such a big ship, and so much of millions and millions of dollars of cargo in it, and so much was at stake. If there was a collision or there was an aground in the Singapore Straits, the whole world will know about it.
Yes.
Like what was this ever given happened? The whole world suddenly knew that such a big ship was stuck in Suez Canal or something like that. So
and when you are on a bridge, actually not only the cargo, the life of all the people is in your hand.
True.
You have to make sure that everything is safe. But yeah, so that's what I was telling. So even though we have done this kind of experience, I know the 2-year experience guy from one of the companies in shore, the way he portrayed his work and himself was way too different. So we were actually shocked. We thought that, okay, since this guy has come for an MBA course, that company might have collapsed.
Okay. He was portraying as if he was the owner of the company, and that company would have closed by now because he has come for MBA.
So that was the first shock we got. Later on, when we progressed, so Adil was the topper of the batch and I was the second top. And then slowly people started knowing it that, okay, these guys were actually more experienced, more knowledgeable, and more decision-making abilities are very strong in all of us, because we have to take various, and these guys then started realizing that, no, we are different. We can handle a lot of stress and still remain calm. Because in MBA courses, that's what they do. They put you under a lot of stress and then they test.
So seafarer inbuilt to eyes automatically.
Exactly. So for us, the calmness is inbuilt. Then I also realized that initially I joined MBA to join a commercial side of the shipping. Then I realized that no, shore is much bigger than what I have even thought of. There is various options, various opportunities. Some are big, very high paying, as well as a lot of stress. And slowly we started opening up to the different world. During the campus placement, I sit for 3 companies interview. One is a management consulting. Another is a IT consulting. And third one is the pure operations. So operations one, somehow I didn't like. Management consulting didn't select me. They rejected me because they have not selected anyone from our college. And IT consulting comes to me, where this is the IT company, and who was handling, their client was American AET, American Eagle Tanker at the time. And they wanted someone with a maritime experience and confidence to face the client and talk in their terminology, because we have to talk in the marine language. So that's how I get my first, and it was good because I can connect to all the users. Because I can understand, I can talk in their terminology, and the company also realized that yes, I'm in the very good fit for them. So within 3 months they promoted me and put me a project manager.
This merchant navy career or the background, always helps. I was talking to a couple of weeks back. I was talking to Mr. Shesh, Venkatraman Shesh Sai. He was also telling the same thing. He joined a paint company, but because of his engineering background, he had that edge over others.
Yes.
So that merchant navy always has something, which gives you an extra edge for doing a.
So then after 3 months, I was promoted to project manager. They know that I have a capability. So as a project manager, I was handled their entire ship management transformation project. Just coming out of MBA school, and within 3 months handling such a big project was a big achievement. And I think after 10 or 11 months, DNV has approached me. So I didn't apply to DNV. DNV has called. Their HR somehow got my profile or something. They called me because they also have a similar kind of role as a consulting role in DNV in Singapore. Went through their few rounds of interview, and then they say, finally joined DNV. So, but DNV, I was more not associated in a class or anything related to class. Our job is more on a management consulting side. So they have a very few. I think at that time we had a 7-people team in Singapore who handles the entire APAC market for the management consulting side. So our main task is to interact with the companies and tell them how you can save on your procurement processes, on your inventory, on your improve your energy efficiency.
So all shipping companies or non-shipping also?
All shipping. And how you will org design, how will you change your organization design? So we implemented the first cross-functional team in MISC in 2008, which MISC liked it. And we have done numerous projects. So the best part of these type of consulting role is that one assignment lasts for 3-4 months.
Okay.
And every assignment give you a new sets of challenge and new learnings for you. So you need to understand the company, their process, their problem, and come up with a solution. Everything happens in 3 to 4 months.
Beautiful.
So
you got a job where your profile was changing, so you were able to learn a lot of things. So
yes.
So I think we should maybe when people are shifting Ashore, then they should see where they can get more growth and more exposure so that they can grow faster.
Correct. So when I was about to come out of my MBA, I thought of that I will change different kind of roles as soon as possible at an early stage so that I know which one fits me more. And then I will continue with that.
Correct. Like you did 3 months in the engineering also.
Correct. So first job, 10 months. DNV, since it's giving me projects. So it's like every 3 months I am changing.
Okay. Yeah, correct.
I work with, so not only changing the companies, I'm also changing geographies. So for 6 months, I have been asked to come to Oslo for a project. 3 months, not 3 months, actually 1 month I stayed in Dubai. 15 days I stayed in Taiwan.
Oh, okay.
And there were 2 projects on which I was working.
So how long you were in DNV?
DNV, I was close to 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And after DNV?
After that, DHL from Germany. So I applied in DHL in-house consulting team in Germany. The reason is that I was looking for an option where I can actually move to Europe. Yeah, so they offered me a role in Europe, in Bonn. So I joined them.
Okay.
Went to Europe.
So how long you were there in DHL?
In DHL, I only stayed for 8 months. So in India, we started our own startup, as well as I was involved with one social service. Our startup in education sector is in my hometown, which is Patna.
That what? EdTech, is it? Or what was it?
It is more like preparing for the various common law admission.
From where you, from logistics, and you started in...
I always wanted to teach. So even when I was in Singapore, I was a visiting faculty for SP Jain.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Go and teach. And yes, obviously from consulting and logistics, when I come to Patna, I started, I was teaching logical reasoning.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Me and one of my friends started this concept of teaching and preparing for the law examination.
Okay. So you used to take call face-to-face classroom sessions, is it?
Yes, and that was doing good. Now I think it's one of the most prestigious law entrance coaching in Bihar.
Oh, it's still happening, is it?
Yeah, it's happening. Now I have left because I will not do justice. I am in Singapore, and these kind of setup requires your physical pro. So when I spent there for almost 3 years.
Okay.
And then I got a call from Accenture, again more or less similar kind of role, AET. where I have to bridge a gap between the technical people and so I came to Singapore because I was also looking for an opportunity to again move back to Singapore. Singapore is very comfortable with me.
Okay.
So then I came here. It was a contractual assignment for 10 months. I have done this assignment and then I went into the business development side. After my Accenture stint of 10 months, I joined a company called Horizon, and there I was actually involved in the business development, everything. So entire P&L is under me. And then I realized that business development is definitely you can say, it's a process as well as it's an art. I always try to find out what are the you facing problem, what is the difficulty you are facing, and do I have anything through which I can solve your. And
what was the product in Horizon? So it was something related to shipping, or
yes,
because
yes.
In business development always it is always better you know the product well, right? Before
yes, always. Yeah, so in Horizon, we were selling mostly the agency service. And so that's how I realizes that, yeah, this is something which I'm good at. I can do because I can understand the other people's perspective comparatively easily. And
Correct.
Since I am from maritime, it's very easy for me to understand also.
Is it that because maritime pulled you back to Singapore again? Why you had a good startup, everything is going fine. So again, the seafarer in you brought you back to Singapore?
Sure. Singapore is all about maritime for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Horizon, I had my first stint in a business development, and slowly that time, Singapore have started coming up as a technology hub.
Okay.
There is a lot of startup coming up. There is a lot of new technical solutions for maritime industry is already been tried, tested, supported, and everything is happening. Then I started looking and started trying to see what's happening. And that's how I got my next role, which was startup, maritime technology startup called Group Nautica.
Okay,
and there I was working with some of the very advanced technology. So like we were working on a crew training and assessment module using VR without any human interface.
Okay.
So actually there is no assessor. There is no examiner. You have been given a VR set and a situation, you handle everything, and we are capturing all your movements and what you are doing without any human intervention. Means there is no examiner, no video. Whatever activity you are doing, we are just recording that. And we have our set parameters. Depends on that, we assess you. So basically, this is not only for training, but it's also for an assessment which has no human bias.
So this is actually looking like future of training in maritime. Huh?
Yes, that's for sure. Future of training will move to VR because first thing is that it's a personalized. So we can create an individual profile depends on what kind of characteristic he has. He is a risk taker. He is very knowledgeable. He follow all the rules. We can also guess his knowledge in the situation, whether he knows his stuff or not. It doesn't have any human bias.
Yeah, correct.
Assessment is instant. As soon as you complete your activity, your results are ready. And VR is between simulation and VR, there is a very marked difference. Simulation required huge investment and infrastructure. VR doesn't need. It just need one room. 6x6 room is more than sufficient.
And it's all software, no hardware actually.
Yeah, no, it's a $2,000 laptop.
Oh, okay.
And $1,000 VR glasses. So $3,000, that's it, done.
But there is that AI technology will cost, right?
Correct. Then your module which you develop, the software will cost.
Yeah, software.
But also, software is not that expensive if you know somebody who has this. Like in Group Nautical, the entire module is conceptualized by me because I have been to that condition. I have spent my time in engine room. I have spent my time in the bridge. So I know that how to create this situation where I can test, where I can assess him, or where I can train him. So if you have that kind of person, it's not that expensive. It's not that difficult. And it's comparatively, what you say is very correct, that future of training will move to VR.
So in your view, what is the future of unmanned ships, how soon we are closer to it, or we are far away from it?
Not very soon.
Not very soon.
If you ask me, it's not very soon, because there is a lot of legal issues with that. Like if this unmanned ship does something in a territorial water, who will be responsible?
Correct.
And even our ROR is not yet unmanned is factored in. They still assume that somebody on a bridge who is responsible for that. And also, if you see, there's a lot of discussion is going on, but in actual situation, except there have been ferry going in Norway, that I know. There's an unmanned ferry in Norway. But
MOL also has tested something in Japan, also a container ship or something like
container ship. But all these are territorial water.
Okay.
Within coast. So if there is any emergency, they can immediately go and assist. But to a mid-sea, I still foresee minimum 8
seafarer jobs are very secured.
Still there. Yes.
because the seafarers always, the people who are looking to merchant navy, they always feel what is the future, what I will do if I go to the merchant navy, what is the scope. So from your career, it is like wide open. There is no limit. Looks like you can go into consulting, you can go into VR, you can go into agency. There's so many options open.
Yes, and that's why if you have spent maybe even if 3-4 years on board ship, then actually you can comprehend everything about the ships, what can work and what can't work. Like at the moment, I know which technology can work in ship and which can't. In shore, for a developer, he will be surprised to know that why can't we use Wi-Fi? I say go to the engine room. There is so many steel bulkhead that you will not get a signal there. So to make Wi-Fi running, you have to have n number of routers throughout your engine room, bridge and everywhere. Then only you can get a signal. So these are something which normal people will not be able to comprehend. Why we can't get Wi-Fi in engine room? His question was very simple. Why we can't get Wi-Fi in an engine room? So now the companies have come up. There's a company called by the name ScanRich. They have this solution for a Wi-Fi. But same, the concept they use, they have a multiple router and then they are getting this signal.
So what is the future from here? What are you doing presently and what is the future of shipping? Because you have always been in merchant navy and you've seen a lot of things. And I also recently saw you have given a lot of speeches in conferences and seminars. What was that about?
I done my doctorate in cybersecurity.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Okay.
So in my most of my conferences speech is either about a cybersecurity or about the navigation technology. Navigation technology where I am currently involved. So we are using a lot of technologies or AI-backed solution for a passage planning.
Oh, okay.
So even though this is still a master's final responsibility, we are feeding him a lot of data which is more authenticated, and our guidance that maybe this is the advisable route or this is the passage you should take as per your current weather condition, your vessel condition, the current of the sea, traffic, everything. So that
it is advanced version of weather routing, is it?
You can say that it's a very advanced version of weather routing. And not only that, now the shore also wants to see what my ship is doing. So why they have deviated from their approved passage plan, or what is the traffic density, whether they have a lot of fishing vessels, how's the weather has been there. Because shore ship management side is primarily looking into the vessel performance, but the commercial is looking against the charter party clauses. So they also wanted to see whether vessel has reported before scale 6. And reduce the charter party speed. Does actually the weather is 6 or above?
Exactly.
Or they have reported.
Yeah, recently, our chart supplier told you can see the exit screen of the ship live sitting in your office. So we are slowly but steadily going towards unmanned ships. Looks like we have already told Master does most of communication job only. His powers are slowly shifting to office. Yeah. So this will again will be doing that passage plan also. The company can tell boss you have to follow this route, with this AI thing. Yeah?
That's what is happening. Especially the commercial, and the push is coming from the commercial side. because they wanted to know that if I have been given a distance of 3,400 kilometer between two ports, whether it's 3,400 kilometer or not, and what is the weather condition throughout the passage. Because if you are showing a bunker consumption and showing a less speed, whether it's actually a bunker consumption because of the weather or something else, that is one area. And second, obviously, the cyber security has been very hot topic in last couple of years.
Yeah, cyber security is very, very hot. We had recently, some time back, the whole Musk company had shut down because of this.
3 months back, CMA CGM have the similar kind of attack. So every month there is an attack. It doesn't come out in a public, but every month there is an attack happening on a maritime infrastructure, maritime industry. Because now people have started that this is a vulnerable thing which they can attack. It all
so again, this is also helping seafarers that, people cannot leave the ship alone. Anybody can drive the ship anywhere then, right?
Yes, correct. So like one of the most misconception which we face in maritime industry, that you constantly change your password.
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
Oh, it doesn't help, is it?
It's absolutely of no use. Rather, it works against us. Reason that if I have to constantly change my password, I will look for the easier password so that I can remember. Okay. So it's make it easy for those people to hack into my password. If you look into very closely, many of the financial institutions never ask you to change password.
They have this second factor authentication.
Yes. So they got you that you think of most complicated password, remember it and forget it. That you have to change it.
Yeah, correct.
And then you have a two-factor authorization. So these are some misconceptions. Technology-wise, there is a lot happening. Like I was also working on one technology where we are using 3D for general cargo ship for loading and unloading. So load and unload plan using 3D map for a general cargo ship.
Oh, okay. So, you will see the cargo loading, discharging, where is it placed, etc.
So, when chief officer is planning for his cargo planning, he used this 3D to plan the cargo based on the cargo density, based on the weight, based on the discharge port and load port. So, why? Because he can then visualize where these cargoes are going and how easy or difficult
like container stacking, you can stack general cargo also.
Yeah, container have lot many other features in
exactly.
Container stacking. General cargo do not have that.
Correct, exactly.
So these things are coming up. Definitely the technology is the next wave we are hitting.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Bireshwar. I think we have already completed 50 minutes. It's almost an hour. It is a long chat, but it was very, very informative. Every minute, I'm sure our viewers have got something from you. You have such a varied experience, and as you said, technology is the way to go. Is there anything you feel which I have not asked you and you felt I should have asked, where you want to tell something to the viewers?
No, there's nothing like that. Only thing which I say is that have a confidence, try to assess yourself. Do not overgauge yourself. That's why when you ask me that whether leaving a career at a second officer, third officer level or master level, it's purely your personal choice. Try to understand yourself, which nobody can help you.
Correct.
Your characteristic, you know better. If you are a risk taker, you can even leave at cadetship level.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, it's nice talking to you.
Same here. Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bireshwar. Have a nice day, and we'll surely catch up again. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.